we gonna have the same choice that you make for your kids, because I read that your children went to private school.
No, my children went to public school.
But
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Beyond dispute, right? Water's wet, sky is blue. Donald Trump is a card-carrying, bona fide racist, right?
The President of the United States is a racist. His own words leave absolutely no doubt about that. What he is saying is not racially charged. It is flat out racist.
And this, of course, makes his supporters racist, right?
But
I mean, if the president is racist and he has supporters, that would make them racist too. I don't know if Donald Trump's a racist, but apparently Larry Elder is about to talk about it right now, so let's just see what he has to say, man.
for people who look like me, other minorities, women who have been, well, let's just leave this to race. This president has said and done so many insensitive and bigoted and racist things that if you support him, people like me want to understand why you ignored so much.
You know, to just be grossly generalistic, you could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right?
What does that mean? I don't get it. I literally don't get it.
So racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
But black unemployment, historical lows.
I think the economy is doing absolutely great, and it's particularly reaching into populations that heretofore have had very bad problems in terms of jobs, unemployment, and the opportunities that come with full employment. So African American unemployment is at its lowest level. I give President Trump, and I've said this before on Squawk Box, I give President a lot of credit for moving the economy in a positive direction that's benefiting a large number of Americans.
Yeah, but he's still a racist.
The problem here is that the president has unfortunately used language in the past that we will have a lot of difficulty in erasing, even with an eraser with the words unemployment drop. Because I think some harsh and painful words are just kind of hanging out here across the country as it relates to African Americans and some other minorities.
And what about the First Step Act? That's a law that allows prisoners who believe they have unfairly long sentences to have their sentences reviewed.
So it looks like Donald Trump has done things that ironically directly help the black community, such as lowering the unemployment rates in our community, as well as the First Step Act, which, of course, you know, a lot of black men are in prison and black men are disproportionately in prison. So these things directly help the African American community. However, he is being regarded as one of the most racist presidents in American history. So it's like what he's done and the public belief of him don't tie together. My question is why? Like, what happened to make people hate him so much? Like, where did this narrative that he was racist come from? Because personally, I don't know, but it had to have come from somewhere. Has it?
And since President Trump signed that act, 1,000 people have benefited. 90% have been black men. They've had their sentences reduced an average of almost 70 months.
The Senate tonight taking bipartisan action on something substantial, overwhelmingly passing a major prison reform bill. The First Step Act eases federal sentencing for nonviolent offenders, aims to reduce repeat offending, and expands early release programs.
Did he say bipartisan?
Mr. President, thank you so much. It's almost hard for me to speak about this without being emotional. In the process of this has brought together friendships that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. I'm now texting buddies with Van Jones.
And speaking of Van White Lash Jones.
How significant do you think this is? By the way, one of your partners in working on this was Jared Kushner.
Jared Kushner, whose father went to prison and who fought on this as hard as that. This is history. This is history. Right now, you're witnessing history on the floor of the U.S. Senate. It is a Christmas miracle underway where, for the first time in a generation, Republicans and Democrats are arm in arm tonight saying, we are sending too many people to prison. They're coming out bitter and not better. We want to make a tremendous difference. I want to say...
It's like these changes don't even last. Because, for example, Donald Trump made this change, but all it took was for someone else to get in office for the changes to not even be recognized in the public. Like, for example, I'm a young man learning more about politics and stuff. I'm 21 years old. I didn't know anything about any of these changes at all. This is my first time hearing about it because in the past 4 years, I haven't seen the changes. I haven't seen a steady decline in the number of black men going to prison. I haven't heard anything about this bill at all. So it's like the effect that it has on the public, it's like it lasts for as long as the president is in office. Because as soon as they're not, it's like a whole different set of rules.
Hakeem Jeffries on the left, Jared Kushner, and Donald Trump on the right have brought together a coalition like I've never seen.
And what about Trump's Music Modernization Act? Something that, again, President Obama didn't even do.
What is
President
that?
Donald Trump today moved the music industry into the 21st century. He signed the Music Modernization Act, legalizing the landmark copyright reform for songwriters. The goal is to ensure songwriters receive pay for the products that they produce when you're listening to them on streaming services. Tennessee Senator Lamar Alexander championed that new law. He says the Music Modernization Act is the most important law in a generation to help make sure that our songwriters and singers all over America can keep working and making a decent living by ensuring they're paid when their songs are played.
Is this a great day for songwriters?
It is.
And artists. And artists, okay.
Yeah, don't give it all to me.
Don't cheat those artists.
Don't cheat us.
Who benefits the most from this side? I'm saying as far as...
I think both.
Both?
Both, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I lean more to the artists.
Yeah.
Because I'm a performer, you know. But it helps not just the writers, but the singers, and not just black, but black, white, all, country, jazz, everything. So I'm very impressed behind that.
So it's a great thing what Trump is doing today, the president?
It is. And you know what? I told everybody, please, whatever your opinion or your decision, please, let's keep it tight. Let him sign it, please.
Today.
Don't mess him up, please.
All right.
Yeah, I'm really glad about that, yeah.
And then there's President Trump's support for school choice.
The time has come.
So it's like he's done so much good stuff. He's had to have done something bad, man. He's had to. Because it's so weird. It's black people I see defending him, saying like, no, he's not racist towards us, he's helped us. And then it's like other people say, no, he hasn't helped you. So what's the truth?
To pass school choice for Americans' children.
So on the campaign trail, Trump didn't talk much about K-12 policy, but when he did, he talked about school choice. And Betsy DeVos is a longtime school choice advocate.
Well, I believe that that parents are the primary educator for their child or their children. And we have, to a large extent, removed a lot of that ability to direct and control by forcing way too many families to assign schools based on where they live.
Now, choice in education is something that blacks and browns want. Guess who doesn't want it? White Dems, who would...
Why wouldn't you want that, though? I would want to send my child wherever would be the best school for them. I wouldn't want to necessarily have to send them to this school just based off of where we live. And we have to kind of move to specific neighborhoods, or, people have to relocate just to send their child to a school that they think is a good school. That shouldn't even be a rule. I do understand, though, like, you can't have too many kids in one school and then the other school is like 100% empty. So I understand on that level. However, I do think it should be rules set in place to where you can opt out of that.
Never put their own kids in an urban school in a million years.
Now, the proposal that I brought forth on education ends all private charter schools in this country.
Why would you want to end all private schools and charter schools in this country? Like, this old man, he'd be blowing me, bruh. Like, who would want that? Why would I ever want that? What if the public school sucks? And the thing is, like, that's such a privileged take that I can't even fathom how somebody can say that, because you're really going to sit here. Your neighborhood schools are so good that you can't even imagine why somebody would have to go to a private school or a charter school. Let me tell you this. A lot of neighborhoods have crappy schools. And if you end private and charter schools, you are dooming these children who should not be there.
If I'm president, Betsy DeVos's whole notion from charter schools to this are gone.
We gonna have the same choice that you make for your kids, because I read that your children went to private school.
No, my children went to public school.
But we even if it was public school, it probably was the best public school. I can't pack up and say I'm leaving Hyde Park and going to Germantown. That's our suburban area, because I can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter can't afford it.
I understand.
So we want to make.
And you don't understand. Because y'all live in the greatest neighborhoods ever that you can't even imagine. Like, why would I send my child to a private school? We have the number 5 public school in the nation. I'm not sending them there. Of course you do. Look who lives around you. But you saying, like, in private school, that's the most privileged take I've ever heard, man. That's super privileged.
What we got great, whether it's charter or traditional. And really, public schools are charter in where I come from. And we make parents know that charter schools are public schools too.
So let me just say, I appreciate nothing more than how much you care about your children and your grandchildren and getting them educated. And that's all I want to do. If I don't have the pieces right, then I'll go back and read it.
Go back and read it,
I'll
please.
Go back and read it.
And I promise you, the next time you see me, if it's reading the way it's going to benefit our children.
I'm not making promises. I'll go back and read it.
Go read it. Well, just read it.
That's it.
But it turns out that Senator Warren had a son in private school from the 5th grade on.
So she's a liar. She just lied to her face. How can I trust you if I see you lying every time I turn on a video? Every time. Like, you literally just lied like they say, yeah, how about child in public schools? Of course. They're in public school, yeah. Of course. Sure, they're in public schools.
But let's move on. What about illegal immigration? And what does that have to do with blacks?
Now we must implement an immigration system that will allow our citizens to prosper for generations to come. Today we are presenting a clear contrast. Democrats are proposing open borders, lower wages, and frankly, lawless chaos. We are proposing an immigration plan that puts the jobs, wages, and safety of American workers first.
A steady stream of people showing up at the building behind me. We're told 150 applicants in the first 3 hours of this job fair, with about 30 minutes left to go. Cook Foods has not said how many people they're looking to hire, but the folks that we spoke with said they're definitely ready to go to work. Cook is just one of several chicken processing companies to get raided by ICE agents last week, with 680 workers detained for possible immigration violations.
Peter Kirsanow is a friend I've known some 40 years. He's a longtime member of the U.S. Civil Rights Commission.
Professor Briggs testified before the Civil Rights Commission. We had a whole host of people testifying before the Civil Rights Commission. The one cohort, the one demographic in the United States of America most harmed, most palpably harmed by illegal immigration are black Americans. And politicians, open borders politicians know this. They know this because there have been numerous hearings before Congress on this. I've testified in a number of these hearings. George Borjas has testified in a number of these hearings. Stephen Cameron.
So here's my thing, man. And you learn something new every day. It just pisses me off every time I learn something else. So black Americans, apparently we were the #1 most harmed with keeping the borders open. However, I didn't know this. So here we are, like fools, fighting to keep the borders closed, fighting to make sure the borders stay closed. Whole time, we're the ones who are hurting the most. And we don't even know. So here's, this is blowing me, man. And this is what I say, man. One thing about this side, like the Republican side, I see that they put a large emphasis on American citizens, the benefits of American citizens. How can I help American citizens? Whereas I guess the leftist side would be the name of it, doesn't necessarily put that benefit on it. And I'm saying that because when you talk about closing private schools, you're not looking at the kids in the inner cities who go to have crappy public schools, who could possibly go to a private school and get a better education. You're not looking at them. You're looking at your neighbor. For one, you're lying because your kid goes to private school. I don't even know why you want to close private school, but whatever. You're not looking at your neighborhood who has the number one public school in the world. You're not looking at them. So you're just not looking at the benefit of us, man. You're not. You're looking at the benefit of you. You don't really care about us, and you're lying to us in the entire process. You don't care, and yet we're still supporting you. This is unbelievable, and this is frustrating to listen to.
Has testified, and we've presented all of this evidence, all of this data, that the pernicious effect of illegal immigration, of open borders, has had on black Americans in terms of employment. Nearly 1 million fewer blacks work today because of the competition from illegal immigration than otherwise would be the case if we had a secure border. And it also depresses wage rates by a tune of $1,800 a year. George Borjas estimates that the depressive effects of illegal immigration on wages is anywhere from $99 billion to $118 billion annually, cumulatively, but it has the most significant effect on the black community.
And did I mention Trump's expansion of so-called enterprise zones that will benefit the inner city?
It's a big day.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. In a few moments, I will sign an executive order launching a new White House opportunity. This is a very big thing that Tim and I and everybody have been working on for a long time. And Revitalization Council. This council will coordinate efforts across the entire federal government to deliver jobs, investment, and growth to the communities that need it the most.
And then there's the commutation of the sentence of Alice Johnson, given a long sentence for a non-violent drug offense, and the pardoning of Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight.
This video is pissing me off, bro. This video is pissing me off because we have a president. We had a president, Donald Trump, who I don't even know much about him, but every time I learn about him in these type of videos, and if I'm wrong, please correct me, bro. Please correct me. Please prove me wrong in the comments if you disagree. Don't call me dumb. Don't call me stupid. Just let me know what I did wrong, and I'll listen. But here we have a video of Donald Trump, who was proven to done things for the black community. It's the living proof right here. But then we have, on the other hand, a president who says, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Who says he's going to close private schools in lower income areas. Who says he wouldn't even send his kid to an interracial school because he doesn't want it to be a mixed jungle. I'm talking about President Joe Biden. These are quotes from him. These are things he's actually said. These are things he's actually done. Yet, we as a community are still backing him. We are actively backing him, acting like he's the greatest when he is not doing anything to help us. And if I'm wrong, please correct me, because I'm here for it. Like, I'm here for the correction. If I'm wrong, let me know. But if I'm not wrong, answer this. Why are we still backing him? I really want to know, like, why is he such a great option for us compared to someone like Donald Trump? It's a real question. He even said something about Barack Obama too. He's the only clean and well-spoken, famous black person he's known. Like, come on, man. Come on. I'm actually looking into this because I want to know, why are we so adamant that Joe Biden was such a great decision? Like, I want to know. I'm not saying this to disrespect Joe Biden. I'm not saying this to uphold Donald Trump. I'm just saying this as a concerned citizen. Like, why?
A champion who was busted for a crime involving the transportation of a woman across state lines for purposes of sex. It was a BS charge just designed to nail him. And President Trump, once again, did something Obama did not do, and that is to pardon Jack Johnson.
A great-grandmother gets a second chance at freedom after President Trump commutes her life sentence. Alice Marie Johnson served 21 years for a nonviolent first-time drug charge, but a serious charge of drug trafficking and money laundering. Her story caught the eye of Kim Kardashian West, who made a personal plea for the release to President Trump last week. Johnson shared an emotional reunion with her family after walking out of an Alabama prison yesterday.
They are the folks who had been lobbying for this pardon for years now. Johnson was the first African-American heavyweight champ. And in what was seen by many as a racial injustice, Johnson was convicted of a crime back in 1913. That crime was transporting a white woman across state lines. He died in 1946. Senator John McCain, former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid had also been pushing Johnson's case for years. But again, President Trump has posthumously pardoned Jack Johnson.
And did I mention that Trump has upped spending on historically black colleges and universities by 14%?
Of course.
Education has the power to uplift. It has the power to transform, and perhaps most important, education has the power to create greater equality and justice in our lives.
Of course. Of course. Because of course he did this. Of course he's helping the black community. And of course they lied to us and told us he didn't. Of course. This video is actually, I know it's supposed to help me, but this video is actually just pissing me off. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm not going to pretend like I'm actually enjoying this video, because it's very upsetting, because it feels like I've just been lied to for years. And if I haven't, I keep saying this, if I'm not being lied to, if I'm just delusional, I'm crazy, if I'm being brainwashed, tell me, please. Email me, DM me on Instagram, tell me I'm being lied to. Tell me that this is all false. Please. But if it's not, then you know where I stand, man. I'm in this video right here. I'm not watching this anymore. I'll catch y'all later.